So welcome everybody to a dance talk. Today our guest is Pasha, whoop, whoop, from Dancing with the Stars. But before he became famous,
Hi guys.
hi. So he was a US tan dance champion, UK Open tan dance champion, US national Latin champion, so a lot of good titles. You also probably seen him on NBC World of Dance. I have questions about that. And obviously a recent project is Dancing with the Stars. Welcome.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
How are you doing? How's things been?
Good. We just moved to LA like a week ago.
Officially,
so,
that's it.
Yeah, well, because we were on tour, on Dancing with the Stars tour, and it was supposed to go until mid-April. And then we had planned to look for the apartment and some people show us around, you know, we had everything planned. And then of course, everything got cut because of the pandemic. And in mid-March, you know, the tour got postponed at first, then canceled. And in that moment, we had no apartment, nothing in LA. So we had to go back to New York, where we already rented out our previous place. So we stayed with, Daniella's parents. And then we were looking for stuff virtually, you know, like we did like virtual tours. And then Daniella found an apartment. So we just moved a week ago, like once the flights opened up. So it was an interesting experience, yeah.
I can actually hear that it's empty because when you talk, it echoes.
Oh, I'm sorry for the sound.
No, it's fine. You're good.
But you're right. I literally have like a couch, an armchair, and a couple of bar stools. That's about it.
Well, welcome to LA. This is your new home, huh?
Yeah, it's a new home. And actually, funny enough, I found my knee pads from last season that we use, you know, for those like knee crawls and paso doble. So I used them to build the furniture because I was like on my knees for the past week. So they came very handy.
So you said that they completely canceled the Dancing with the Stars tour. So they're not even gonna try to do it later?
At first, they were thinking about just postponing and picking up the tours, the dates later in the year. Mm-hmm. But then once they realized that no one knows when anything is going to open up, they were forced to cancel. And I think it was 80 shows total. And I think it was about 20 to 25 shows. And they just decided to try to get to those cities next tour.
I remember I was in the official first two tours of Dancing with the Stars. And I know how exciting it is to see the audience and everything else. And it's definitely sad that you guys not going to be performing. But what are you doing in the meanwhile? Did you start virtually teaching? Did you practice? What are you guys doing besides moving to LA?
Well, so we had about 2 months at home, right? And
with parents.
Yes, with parents, right? And I think if it was at a different time, maybe we would have taught a lot. But to be honest with you, we actually decided not to teach too much. And because the season itself was very intense, and then the tour was very intense, so we decided, you know, this is like an opportunity to slow down. You know, you have like 2 months of, you don't know when everything is going to open up and when else you're going to have a chance to just sit at home and do nothing. So instead of going into a teaching mode and try to teach online, we actually kind of like cut everything out and decided to just do nothing and just sleep, you know, and rest and eat. And I got a chance to read the books that I wanted to read, got a chance to meditate, you know, because you're like, oh, you know, I'm going to take some time, I'm going to meditate, I'm going to relax my mind, you know, think about things, visualize. And then you always so hectic running around that you never get a chance to do it. So and here you have all this time and you're like, I actually have an opportunity to do things that I always wanted to do and never find time to do. So I use that.
You really did a staycation. That's a new word right now.
Exactly. Staycation. Never heard that before, but I like that.
Any books that you want to share with us? This is something that, you know, I'm fascinating with. I've been catching up to all the books that I couldn't read because I'm always on a go, 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 like traveling and everything. And, you know, picking up the book on a plane, it's not the same as actually sitting at home and reading it. So any interesting books you can share?
I am very, I have like a very strong preference, and all the books that I read, it's either something to do with inspiration, you know, and stuff like that. So first thing that I did, I reread The Alchemist, which is like one of my favorite books
too. Yes.
Yeah. But the thing is that I think I reread it for the third or fourth time, and every time you read it, like 5 years later, it's a completely new book, because it is so simple, but you read between the lines and you understand that your perspective changed as a person and you see it completely differently. So it was like reading a new book. Then I read a book called Outrageous Openness. So it's a book of short stories again, it's like very spiritual / inspirational. It's a very easy read, but puts you in a very good light mood and keeps you open to the things that happen around you, actually. And you try to see the positive in anything, you know.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna ask quickly, is your lovely wife gonna join us, or she's occupied with something else today?
Well, actually, to be honest with you, I wasn't sure if we're doing it like one-on-one or together. I should have asked you. So
okay,
listen, we'll use that opportunity. We'll do one-on-one with you, and then next time we'll do it with her. How's
perfect
that?
Yes. Yeah, sounds great.
I mean, we love to have you both, so we can definitely invite her separately. And
because the thing is that I wasn't sure, maybe.
I know. So let me ask you something. Because I watched you performing live in Blackpool when you guys won a couple of years ago. This was such a phenomenal performance. What stimulates you? Who was your inspirations for your costumes, for your training? Who is like the person that you go to? Like, who's your team?
It's a combination of a lot of people. And first of all, our main teacher, we call her our dance mom, is Shirley Ballas. So she's the one who was always behind the success and a lot of decisions. And I would say the person who was overlooking the entire package. And then it's a big team of people, people who keep us on the right track mentally. I would say Gary McDonald, who was always, helping us out with that. And Eugene Katzevman, who is a great technician, he was working on our mechanics, making sure we understand our bodies well. And Richard Porter, who was our choreographer and always helping us, to come up with some creative stuff.
I absolutely love, especially the spot in Rambo when your partner falls into you. It's such a sensual and amazing moment. I feel like everybody watched it so many times.
Thank you. This is the thing. Like, this was a moment. It was a move that we were trying to create with Richard, and it happened by accident. It was almost like an off-balance thing that we saved, and he said,
"Those are always the most amazing. Like, those mistakes we make become the thing."
Yes, if you keep your mind open, if you're not starting to beat up on yourself that it was a mistake, right? And it was his eye who caught it. He's like, guys, whatever just happened, freeze, use it, so
it's definitely like you had such a many moments of trademarks, and I think this is what's missing in a lot of couples nowadays. They're not such a memorable things, and you definitely like cultivating it and creating something new that is so unique about two of you. Do you guys you obviously continuing to compete as well, correct, besides doing the shows at this moment? Or
at this moment, no. At this moment, time wise, because of the season and the tour and everything, our last competition was beginning of 2019, so it has been almost a year and a half since we competed.
I wanna beg you not to stop, because I think you had such a creative thing and something that our business completely missing at this point. If you find that love in you, please continue doing it and inspiring
Was that
others.
guys New York Dance Festival? Because I feel like that's the last time I saw you dance.
That was the last competition.
That was it. That's it.
That
But
But you guys didn't retire, right?
No.
Okay.
There was no official retirement. We haven't done any of that. So
because
I think this is the thing.
It's like a little curse, Dancing with the Stars. It's good, but at the same time, the reason why I said little curse, any person that made it to Dancing with the Stars never really came back competing again. So that was actually one of my questions.
Did, but it was already too late. Like I took a 10 years of hiatus and I did come back, but in different style.
Look, I have
I'm sorry, I did not know that I was supposed to be here.
No, listen, it's okay. We're
this makes it even better.
for viewers that gonna be watching. How long are you guys dancing together?
Too long.
11 years. 11 years to be more precise. I don't know if that's too long or not long enough, but it's 11 years, yeah.
Yeah, sorry, we're talking over each other, I guess internet delay. Yeah, my longest partner was 10 years. So yeah, 11 seems a lot.
No, but it works. It works.
I was just trying to beg you guys because of such a uniqueness that you have, and I'm just hoping that you find that inside of you, not to quit completely competitive.
Honestly, it's never been our mentality to just, oh, look, I got an opportunity, I'm gonna quit something else. That was never like our goal. We actually didn't even know we were going to get that job. We knew 3 days before we got it. So like it was never just like in our plans or anything, but once we fall into something, we try to do like the best we absolutely can and like really just put our hearts into it, because otherwise I feel like we're spreading ourselves so thin. And even when we did World of Dance, like we're still competing, but when we were doing World of Dance, we were only doing that, and then we went back to competing, and then we were just focused on whatever we were doing. Because for us, well, for me, I don't know about you, but for me, like if I knew next week I have a competition, like I'd be worried about that competition and I wouldn't be able to perform my best here, and then I'd be like worried about the next thing. So it's kind of like a day by day thing, especially with this whole pandemic. You really never know what's gonna come next, you know. So but we're never gonna give it up. Like that's not a thing. Like we're still gonna be in the ballroom world. That's what raised us. That's what we were born into, and that will never like be out of our lives. We're definitely gonna still be in it.
This is great to hear.
We're gonna go to competitions
right now, and I'm so jealous. You're so tan. Where do you tan in this pandemic? I mean, we had our pool that was closed. You're not allowed there. Why are you so tan? Do you have like a tanning pool?
We just moved.
Yeah, the pool is open now.
Our pool's open.
Yeah, Danny can tan. She's tan naturally, and she can tan within 2 days, 3 days. When we go on vacation to like Mexico or Dominican for a week, she gets really dark really fast. So
but our pool's open.
Whitey, like I can tan, I don't have a burn, but like literally I can tan and then 2 weeks lose my tan. I love being tan though.
No, we just moved here 2 days ago or 3 days ago, and our pool, they just opened our pool. I mean, we have to like sign up and stuff, but
yeah.
It's like, yeah.
So now that I have both of you, how do you guys structure your practices? Like, what is the best advice you can give to couples that is watching actually this show?
The best advice is to have a plan before you go into the ballroom. When we started, we used to practice 4 to 6 hours a day when we started dancing together, and we're achieving like this much, you know. And then towards the end, like towards the last few years, we started practicing maximum 2 hours, maximum. Usually it would be an hour and a half to 2 hours, but it would be so focused and so concentrated that after those 2 hours, you couldn't do anything else because your brain was done and your body was done.
I agree. Sorry, I said I agree. I always said don't practice harder, practice smarter.
Yes. Yes, and we started making a plan before we even step foot into the ballroom, because what happens is a lot of times people go inside the ballroom, they put on their shoes, and they go with their feeling. I'm gonna start, I'll warm up with my Roomba walk, and then we're gonna start and let's warm up together with some Roomba basics. And then you start warming up and you're like, oh, you know what, the connection didn't feel good, let's work on that. And then you start worrying about styling and this. And then what happens is you end up doing nothing, but you spend a lot of time. So we would make a plan, let's say, today we're doing only rounds. That's it. We're gonna do 3 rounds, like full speed, for example, or like 1 slow and 2 fast, and we get out of it. That's it. Yeah. Or we come in and today we'll work only on this dance, and we're gonna break it up into 3 little sections. And we're going to spend half an hour on each section working on one topic, for example, connection or something else, dynamics. So it would be very, very prepared practice before we even step into the ballroom. That was our secret to really narrow down the time that we spend to make it more efficient, and maximum productivity.
Let me ask you a question, because you guys still did 10 dance for a really long time. Like I did 10 dance, but I stopped at maybe 19. So Michael and I were 10 dance champions. And then, but I always preferred Latin. So I was always a Latin girl. So for you, do you have that preference, standard versus Latin?
I'm a Latin girl. I will always be a Latin girl. But we had the best teachers, like Emilio and Luana, Conte and Emilio Stefano. They were teaching us. They were literally like our parents. They did everything for us. Yeah. They taught us for free. They freaking taught us at 2:00 in the morning, just to make us.
Yeah. I can't say that I love one style more than the other. I felt that Latin gives me more freedom of expression, but feeling wise, I enjoyed both styles equally. And like Daniella said, it was our teachers, that also made it so desirable, and they put so much into us. And Daniella is not exaggerating when she's saying, like, in preparation for nationals, Emilio would take the keys from the studio, would go there at 1 a.m. and do the rounds until 2 a.m. when nobody's there. So it's like in the middle of the night and we can just focus, and there are no couples, nobody's teaching, and we'll use that opportunity. And it was funny enough, it was him and Emilio and Luana who invited us for dinner to their apartment one day. And they said, guys, we think it's time for you to choose one style so you can really commit and really succeed in one style. And obviously, coming from a ballroom teacher, you would expect them to say it should be ballroom, right? But it was this selflessness that they were honest, and they said, we see that as a couple you have more potential in Latin, so we really do believe that this is the time. We know you love both styles, but this is the time to really focus, choose one style, commit to it, and it should be Latin. And once your ballroom teacher, who puts so much effort and so much love into you, tells you that's what you should do, then you definitely trust. You know they wouldn't say that just for the sake of saying it,
Did you cry at that dinner? So did you cry at that dinner?
Yeah, we did.
Well, that's what separates from a teacher who cares and teacher who is stimulated by just finances, wants to take advantage of you. Exactly. I think it's fantastic that you guys had that in your.
But to be honest, that's why I didn't want to stop, because they're the most amazing people, and I learned way more than just ballroom from them. I learned how to deal with frustration when I get super, because I was never a ballroom girl. For me, when we started dancing together, I did ballroom for a short period of time. Actually, Emilio was my first ballroom teacher, and he was his teaching methods taught me more than anything, just how to deal with life. So when we started dancing together, because there's such a big age gap, and not age gap, but more of a level gap, he was already 3-time national 10 dance champion, and I was a junior 2 finalist or whatever, and I only did it because I wanted to dance with him. I was like, I'm gonna do it.
He's like,
I'm
I'll
gonna try to be
it.
good. I'm gonna fake it till I make it. But I did it because of him, because I wanted to dance with him. But
Oh, that's so
it was.
Let me ask you a question, since you start talking about when you guys got together and then you were younger and he was already established. So when did you guys start dating?
Like right away.
Very, very, maybe like few weeks.
He was robbing the cradle, that's for sure. Yeah. No, but it was just like, it was immediate. It was just like such a crazy connection. He also doesn't act like he's his age. He's way like, he's not immature, but
I'm a kid.
younger.
I'm a kid.
He
I'm a
looks
kid at
younger.
heart. I act like a little kid. Yeah.
And I've had like people who are older than me my whole life, like friends wise, because I feel like I connect to mature people. So
how did that happen? Did somebody like, okay, you should dance with this girl, or you saw her and like, oh, she's cute, I want to dance with her? Like, how the whole get together happened?
It
hope
was.
you didn't say she's cute, because I was much younger.
It was actually Emilio who came up to me and he said, I think now that you're looking for a partner, I think you should dance with Daniella. And I looked at him and I said, are you sure? Because we have 6.5 years difference, right?
That's not
and at that age, you know, when I'm 22 and she's 16, you know, like at that age, it's quite, because she was dancing in junior 2 division, you know, and so if she was to dance with me, she would skip youth under 21 and would jump straight into open amateurs, right? So when he told me that, I did not see it at all, but I trusted him. So we set up a tryout and we did it. And Daniella's teacher's house.
Vika Drubetskaya, she was my teacher.
Uh-huh.
She's the one actually who introduced us.
Vika is one of our best friends.
Yeah, she's the most amazing person and the most amazing teacher. She's like, oh, she's so good at what she does. But she was
one of the most detailed and one of the most knowledgeable, like, people that I know. It's amazing to sit down and chat with her for hours. Every time I visit New York, I mean, we watch the sunrise and we're still talking about dancing, analyzing things and doing it in 3D, 4D. I mean, 6D.
Yes,
and shapes and space and everything.
Absolutely.
And
I can totally connect to that.
But she was like one of my first teachers, and she actually, I say this all the time, she made me who I am. And I'm so lucky to have had her like guide me. And then she's the one who actually introduced me to Shirley. She's like, this is what you need right now at this moment. So, I mean, she was amazing. But where am I going with this?
I don't know.
The tryout, yes.
So we had a tryout in her basement.
She has a studio.
A little studio, yeah.
Yeah.
And many hours in that studio. I know exactly where it is.
Yeah.
Right.
So basically, we did it in her studio. She wasn't there. She just like let us do our thing. And honestly, from the like first moment we touched, it was just like right away. It was instant. Like it was actually, it's pretty crazy. It was instant connection. But the funny part is, we had the same teachers. So we both worked with Emilio and Luana, both of us. And we both worked with Taliat and Marina. So we both had the same group of teachers and we were always in the same circle. So then my mom called me one day and she goes, I just got a weird phone call from Emilio saying that he wants you to try out with Pasha. And I'm like, you mean like Pasha Pashkov? The one who's already winning everything in amateurs? First of all, he's too old. No. I was like, no. Second of all, like, he's so, like, good, you know, like, how am I gonna not compete with that? How am I gonna, you know, go up to that level so fast? And she's like, well, he wants you to have a tryout. And I was like, no. And he called me, he's like, you're gonna do it. I was like, fine. I'll try out with him. And it was just.
But Vika said you straight. She told you that.
Vika did.
Yeah, because Vika said that, yes, you will right now skip youth and under 21 and you're going to miss out on those 2 categories. but in 5 years time, everybody is going to be in exactly the same boat, in exactly the same shoes. Yes, you have a head start. You have a head start. You're already going to be in that, and people are only going to start getting into that category. So you can be already more experienced. It will just force you to grow faster. So I think it was her vision of that, and Daniella's trust in her that helped make that decision.
Yeah, but talking about Vika, I literally feel like she has a special magic touch on girls. Like she produced so many beautiful girl dancers. You know, it's like, I don't know, there's something special about, I guess, how she delivers that information or whatever it is that she does. I personally never had lessons with her because we competed against each other. But whatever she does is magical because every single girl she teaches is super feminine, and I love that. They're not robotic. They're like they're feminine. That's
they're elegant. Yeah, definitely the foundation that she brings in every one of you guys. It's definitely unique, and that
we should have her on her dance talk.
Makes you stand out on a dance floor as well.
What was your experience on World of Dance versus Dancing with the Stars?
Well, World of Dance was the first TV show for us, right? So I would say that experience was tough because it was the first time on TV, the first time getting acquainted with how everything works with cameras, camera blocking, and all these things. And to be honest with you, that experience is what kind of helped us be more ready for Dancing with the Stars.
But also in competitive field. Like after World of Dance, we still competed, and it just helped us so much.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yes. So I think because when we compete, let's say in Blackpool, right, in the biggest venue in the world, you have several rounds, you have several dances, you have a lot of couples on the floor at the same time. So there, the focus is to stand out from the crowd and to grab their attention, right? On World of Dance, you have 1 minute and 15 seconds. You're by yourself, and you are 15 feet away from Jennifer Lopez sitting right in front of you,
staring at
and probably about 20 cameras all around you. So the pressure is on, and it's completely different. And you know that it's going to be 8-10 million viewers that are going to watch the show. So it's a completely different pressure. So after that type of pressure, when we went and we competed in Blackpool, it felt actually easy, even though that's the hardest competition in the world in the ballroom industry. But it felt easy because you understand you don't have that much pressure, and there is a place for an error, place for a mistake. While once you there by yourself with all the cameras pointing at you, and you have those 60 seconds to show what you're capable of, it's a completely different level of pressure. And I think that what helped us then compete better in the ballroom world. But at the same time, then it also prepared us for Dancing with the Stars. So we were already more knowledgeable with the camera work and choreography. So it was an amazing experience. It was a great way to try ourselves in a new field.
That's so
you guys still get very emotional when you watch that show for other competitors?
Absolutely. Honestly, I feel emotional even when I watch TV commercials.
He's crying when there's a puppy.
Yeah, like puppy, and I'm like tearing up,
Seriously,
so,
that happened to me after So You Think You Can Dance. I used to be so like a shield and strong and like I'm tough cookie. Nothing gets me emotional. I can do whatever I want. And now, like a little thing, doesn't matter what it is, and I'm like crying.
But I heard
all of a
So You
sudden.
Think You Can Dance it's harder. Like it's very because you have so many rounds of it.
Yeah.
Before you actually go on the live show, like it's hard. It's challenging.
We've never done it, but all of our friends who've done it, and they tell us that experience of the Vegas week, to go through that really builds you and prepares you really well for the.
I mean, besides the Vegas week, I had to be in the first season. So first season, they had like almost 6 months of running marathon, of trying to figure out, is it going to be live or not live? I mean, I feel like my hair was burned from getting ready every day. And it's like, nope, we're not using this cut. We're not doing this show, you know? So it was like a real marathon.
That. And I remember they actually do you remember it, because it was first season and they didn't want people to know what's going on. They like lock you in some hotel, and I remember
they locked us for like, 6 months.
I don't know what I'm doing here.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So, okay, guys, we are kind of getting close to the end and running out of time. But before we finish, we do this fun thing with all of our guests. We run a quiz. So it's 10 questions, very random, and you have to like answer really fast. Whatever comes into your head, right?
Okay.
I probably shouldn't do it.
Yes. Right here, no filter. No.
Perfect. We love that. Let's go.
Perfect. This is exactly what we want. So I'm going to start with the first question. How do you describe yourself in 3 words?
Introvert, extrovert, both at the same time.
Honest, emotional, stubborn.
If you can't sleep at night, what do you do?
Meditate.
Wake Pasha up and tell him I can't sleep at night.
What is your favorite body part?
Oh no. Ourselves?
Yes.
My butt.
I don't know. Elbow.
Elbow.
I don't know. Yeah, you said answer quick. I don't know.
Not very sexy.
Well, we haven't.
If you had a magic wand, you could use.
About each other?
Come on, answer fast. Answer
Oh,
fast.
I would have like a volume control when he speaks on FaceTime. He yells at the phone.
You will mute him down.
Yeah, because he's like, and he's right there.
Okay, then in that case, I would use it to make sure then it doesn't tell me not to yell while I'm on FaceTime.
Okay, who makes mess in the kitchen?
Me.
Danny, because she cooks most of the time.
Okay, what drives you absolutely crazy?
People being late.
Oh, I'm there with you.
When people pat me on the back and they hug me.
Oh, one of those, like ass out hugs and little pat.
Hug and little pat. Oh.
If you can shop in one store, what store would it be?
Zara.
Urban Outfitters.
Wow, you guys quick on that one.
I know. That's the one that
what would be your absolute vacation?
Samana.
Ooh.
That was fast too. Okay. What are you afraid of?
The dark and clowns.
And bees.
Bees. But I'm getting better. I'm trying to be better.
What is the best advice you ever gotten?
Trust the process.
Mm-hmm. What actor would you like to play your life story?
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh. The older Meryl Streep.
I knew it.
She's awesome.
Yeah, of course. You choose the best actress in the world, obviously. Well, then I'm gonna go with Leonardo DiCaprio. It's only fair.
All right. If you had to wake up as an opposite sex, what would be the top 3 things you would do?
I would go to the bathroom and look at my little bits and bobs. I would try to figure out how they work.
That's one.
Wow, that's a question I never thought about.
I would feel my hair everywhere. Like I guess look how to shave my face. I don't know.
Okay, I would dress really sexy, go to the bar and see what it feels like being hit on.
You get to wake up and just start touching your boobs?
I don't have boobs. So
No. I'm asking Pasha because he's gonna have girls' boobs.
Honestly, I'm pretty sure I would have done more than, but let's not go there. let's keep it PG-13.
And my last question will be, how do you always cultivate this positive energy about yourselves?
You don't take life seriously.
Try to see the positive in all things. I know it's very cliche, but you know how the glass half full, that's definitely the outlook in life for me. Just try to find positive in everything. Just it's about how you look at things, how you see things. You have the option. It's in your control.
And if I feel negative, I just go to Pasha.
All right,
I completely agree on that one. Absolutely love to, always look at positive things with love and gratitude.
right. So before we completely run out of times, do you want to tell our viewers, like, what are your future projects? I know you said you weren't really teaching during pandemics. Are you planning or picking that up? What are the plans right now?
Well, I would say right now, since we just moved to California, is to get settled down, visit all our friends who live here, because we promised everybody we're going to visit them. So we're going to drive around, look around, get familiar with the places and areas. Yes, get some furniture, put everything together. So keep it a little bit quiet and settled down so we feel more at home. And then after that, getting ready for season and the tour and everything that's coming ahead.
Perfect. Then you should come over for a barbecue.
Oh, that sounds good.
Awesome. I'll let you know when we're making one. All right, guys. So thank you for being here. Thank you for joining us. And I'm sure we'll talk later.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for joining. And I'm wishing you so much pleasant memories in your new place. And good luck with everything that you guys do.
Thank you.
Bye,
Thank
everybody.
you.
Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.
There's a limit to your love.